to put on the channel. All right. All right, guys, we are going to be going over Dotloop, what it's used for, tips and tricks, and we're gonna go over a simulation on how to actually fill out a whole contract, not fill out a whole contract, but start a whole transaction, sign signatures, assign initials, send it out to somebody, get it back, and then send it out to a listing agent. Okay. So I'm gonna share my screen. We got people coming in slowly. All right, so Dotloop. Like it says right here, Dotloop is the complete real estate transaction management solution. In other words, it's where we hold all our paperwork, where we start and write up offers, practically pretty much anything regarding paperwork and writing offers and managing the whole, the deal from start to finish is done right here. All right, so for instance, if you have a buyer and he's like, hey, I want to write up an offer. All right, we go to Dotloop to do that. Okay, so there's no other place to do that. So if you come up to me, hey, how do I write up an offer? I'm gonna tell you, go to Dotloop. So this is where it all starts and this is where it all finishes up at. Okay. Also, Dotloop is where where management and the owners can go back into your transactions, make sure you did everything right, make sure you got the correct paperwork. It stores the paperwork, and you have everything good to go. You get paid on time, so it's good. So let's kind of keep going down. Millions of real estate agents use Dotloop. It's the most popular transaction management platform. One system to rule all, compliance and storage made easy. So since you guys know, as realtors, we have to store our paperwork, okay? In case the Florida Real Estate Commission, audits you, wants to see all your transactions. This is a really easy way to do so, okay? Instead of having a filing cabinet with hundreds and thousands of papers, you can have it all right here, okay? Know your business and gross. This also gives you an easy way to analyze your business, how many offers you wrote up, how many deals you closed, how many deals that didn't go through, those type of things. And obviously it helps us. Dotloop helps us, the management time. So you don't have to, and I think the best thing about this is you don't have to drive out to your client to get a simple signature or a simple signature or a single initial. We can email it and it has the e-signature availability to it. Okay, so you're not fighting traffic. So you just get a single signature. You get from your office. You can send out the paperwork, get it signed, and get it back. Okay. And another thing, what's pretty much the best is, back in the day, you used to carry all these folders around with all your different transactions every day you come into work. So every time you guys come in the office, people would have big straps with several folders in there with all their transactions, all their paperwork. Nowadays, we don't have to do that. So without further ado, let's get into this thing. So it's dotloop.com. Everybody should already have their Dotloop account set up by their office admin. If you do not have it set up, get with your office admin to set it up. So this is your dashboard of your Dotloop. As you see, each of these squares are different transactions, or as Dotloop likes to call them, different loops. Okay, each of these squares, different transaction, different transaction, different transaction. When you guys get in yours, it's not going to be this filled up because I have access to everybody's transactions. Okay, what I want to do is find a good transaction to show you how your Dotloop is supposed to look like. Obviously, there's search capabilities right here. So you can easily find your transactions. So what I'm doing right now is looking for an agent that I know usually has really good loops. So hopefully I can show you. For some reason, it always does that. All right, I'm gonna try one more time. So this is what a filled out loop or transaction should look like. And this is Nicole. She does a really good job of keeping her Dotloop organized, which is to be crucial when you start getting busy. Okay. So for instance, this is a listing she had that was for sale. She already sold it, the price, and the day it closed. Okay. So the cool thing about this, when you have this set up, you can easily go back and see all your deals, how much it sold for, things like that. As you see, there's a lot of paperwork in here. Okay. Imagine having all this stuff in physical paper, carrying it around. That's a lot. The cool thing about hers, it's a listing. So with listings, there's two sides of the paperwork. Okay. So there's the initial listing paperwork, listing agreement, seller disclosure, lead-based plain disclosure, lockbox authorization, that, this, that, and the other. To get the listing just listed on the MLS. And then once you have a listing, remember there's more paperwork, but somebody has to give you an offer and then all the paperwork behind all that stuff. The cool thing what she does, which everybody should do, is separate these two. Listing folder. And the cool thing is you have all your listing stuff. So if you need to look for anything, it's all here. It's all easy to find. You can close up this folder. And then you just have the sales folder for when the other realtor brings in an offer and all the paperwork behind that. So it's all nicely organized. All right, so that's a good way. It's a good example of a loop. Okay, has all our clients here, everybody that's in the transaction. I'm gonna jump into one more to see. Let's just see what other people are doing. All right, so this is a pre-offer, and she has hers very nicely organized as well. It's all signed, all good to go. Cool. So that's good. That's how your Dotloop should look like. Nice and organized. Shouldn't be double copies. It shouldn't have it all over the place. Nice and organized to a point where if I need to go in there and look at it, it's going to be easily readable. I understand what's going on. Okay. Another thing is I want you guys to make yourselves familiar with the forms and start reading the forms. To access the forms that are real estate related or company related, we're going to go right here to templates. Okay. In these document folders is going to have any and all paperwork you should need to complete a full real estate transaction. Okay. So for instance, listing packet. This is going to have all the documents required to list a property. Okay. So listing checklist, listing agreement, the residential entry form, buyer and seller disclosures, the blank addendums, lockbox authorization, so on and so forth. Okay. The sales packet is going to have all the documents you need to represent a buyer or close a transaction. Okay. So appraisal contingency, the as is contract, the blank addendum, buyer service pledge in Spanish, buyer seller disclosure, coronavirus extension, COVID-19 protocol, so on and so forth. Okay. And also we have everything else under the sun. So rental packet will be everything you need to close a rental deal. Property management, if you have somebody who wants for us to manage their property. Vacant land listing packet, vacant land sales packet, commercial forms for commercial real estate, Celebration and Windermere office form. So they have, whoever's in Celebration office, they have slightly little different regulations that they do over there. Equitable title, anything pertaining to that. And the rest of these, whatever. You're honestly not gonna really use anything below the commercial forms that much, okay? But say, for instance, you can't find a particular document for whatever reason. Either we haven't put it in there, or you just can't find it easily in this one. This FAR form has all of the real estate commissions contracts, okay? All of them, literally all of them. Any of them that the attorneys for the real estate board commission uses, it's all here. As you see, it's literally anything. So if you're ever looking for a document, you can't find it, just use this search button and put in a keyword. So say, for instance, post. I'm looking for post occupancy. Look, so I just put post and it pops up, okay? Maybe you're looking for a certain disclosure or a relationship disclosure. It has everything, all these crazy disclosures that you might think of or that might need, okay? So when you guys get a chance, go in here and start making yourselves familiar with these forms. Because, like I always said, we have to start becoming real estate experts. And knowing the paperwork itself is part of that role. So if your client asks you a question, if we don't know the answers like that, obviously it's going to start hurting our value towards the client. That's pretty much the groundwork on how to navigate this. Thing's pretty simple. This is a reporting tool. Check that out. You can keep everything, how many sold you have, how many pendings you have, how many active listings, how many offers have you put in, how many deals did not work out, and also it's going to count up the volume and stuff like that. Task is if you want to make a checklist and systems in place of every offer. You go in there, look at that when you guys get a chance. But really, what I most want to tackle on today is actually how to start up a loop or how to start a transaction. Okay, so back to the point where if somebody comes up to Esther and is like, Esther, I want to write up an offer. Okay, the first thing you do is jump on to Dotloop. Okay, the second thing you do is add loop or add a transaction. At this point, you're gonna put, the property address or MLS number. The cool thing about Dotloop is it's connected with the MLS. So for a lot of the deals, it will automatically auto-populate and pull up most of the information. So for this instance, we're gonna use this property, 105 East Robinson Street, unit 1207, for our example. I'm going to see if this MLS number works. And voila, it pulled up. 105 East Robinson, Orlando. Patrick James. Is this Patrick James? Patrick James. So we're going to use this one. And you see it's going to import all the data from here. So Patrick James, his broker, his phone numbers, all this, all the address, the legal description, all that stuff that we would have to manually input. It's going to do this for us, okay? So that's why Dotloop is really good. It starts streamlining all the little physical things you need to do. So we're going to import the data. And it's going to automatically change our loop name, okay, which is cool with me. You can add a photo if you want to. What I do is, go right here. It's a nice looking property. Save image to downloads. Boom. They have a nice, cool looking little image up there, so make sure dashboard look all nice and fancy. Click done, start creating a loop, uploading photo. There you go, here it is. I'm not done yet. So for this instance, we're gonna pretend like I have a client who wants to put an offer on this property, okay? So we have to specify what type of transaction is this. Is this a listing or is this a sale or a representing buyer? We're gonna put a type, and you see the different types: listing for sale, listing for lease, purchase, lease, real estate, other. Okay. I guess you would use other for just any random document you would want to get signed. So for this instance, we're gonna use purchase, status. We're gonna put pre-offer because this is before the offer. But obviously, once you get the pre-offer accepted, we're gonna go under contract. Once you get sold, we get sold. If you withdraw the offer, withdraw. If the whole thing just didn't work out, you want to delete it, terminated. But for this offer, we're gonna put pre-offer. Sales price, we don't know the sales price yet. But for this, you can either substitute what your offer price is and then adjust it later, or just keep it blank. For this situation, since with the market right now it's so damn hot, we're gonna put a full price offer. Actually, we're gonna put $1,000 more. We are balling like that. We're going to view loop. And there you go. Here's the start of your first loop. As you see, there's no paperwork here, but it's empty compared to the ones we saw, but it's going to quickly start filling up. Okay, so the first thing we're going to do is to actually start writing up an offer, like the purchase agreement. Okay, we're going to go to templates. Okay, first thing, so this template's up here. So actually look at the documents, or just to read it and know it. This template's one in your actual loop is the one to actually put it into your loop. Okay, so we're gonna go to this, and it's gonna take us pretty much that same window we're at before, but it's a condensed version. We're gonna go to sales packet, scroll down to blank as is contract, and we're gonna copy it. And there it is. This is the start to you writing your first offer. I'm gonna click on that. This is very important. This is the autofill feature I was telling you about. So we don't have to manually type in things every time. So remember, in real estate contracts, we're gonna have a bunch of other forms associated with it, and every time we're gonna have to write an address. Okay. So for instance, 105 East Robinson Street, Unit 1207, Orlando, Florida 32801. On all these forms that we're gonna be using, make sure you utilize the autofill feature, so you only have to do this one time. Okay, because it gets to a pain in the butt if you forget this. You're working with 3DOs and you start to forget these addresses, or more so, you forget the unit number, which is more likely. So make sure all this stuff looks good. 105 East Robinson, unit number 1207, Florida, blah, blah, parcel ID, cool. Purchase price, we're gonna put the purchase price. Guess they didn't put it on there, didn't register. $340,000. Earnest money, that's the deposit. We're gonna put 30,000. It already has the listing agent, Patrick James, with his broker. Okay, another thing that is easy. Okay, you don't have to keep writing Patrick James, and you don't have to remember their brokers to automatically do it. Closing date, we're gonna close at the end of the month. Offer expiration date, like the next day, space, 12 p.m. Always put a time on your expiration date, just to cut out any vagueness. Property includes. Always put washer and dryer, because if you forget, your client's gonna be pissed. In legal description, this should be autofilled, but sometimes it doesn't. So we're gonna go down here. We're gonna see the auto description, the legal description right here in the MLS. So we're just gonna copy this whole thing, copy, paste. Then we're gonna click autofill, and now literally we don't ever have to write the address, Patrick's name, ever again. Okay. But our work is not done here. You still see there's some blank spaces left. Okay. Because obviously, I mean, Dotloop and autofill can't write up the whole offer automatically. There's certain things that are going to be different every time. So obviously, line 1, seller. Who's the seller? So write the seller's name on there. If you don't know how to figure out the seller's name, you go to the MLS, go to taxes, and show you the owner information. Okay. So it's David, whatever that name is. So I'll put it on there. Buyer, we're gonna pretend that I'm buying the property, okay? My client's Javier Santana, and the agent is Javier Santana too. Confusing, but we get it. So the thing is with Dotloop, it also remember your client's names, okay? So you see right here, remembered me. So actually, I don't want to do that. So, all right, cool, we're good. Put your buyer's name on there. See, look, it deleted everything. So we're gonna backtrack real quick. That was a mistake on me. For information purposes, I'm doing it this way. Sometimes it glitches out a little bit, so you see it didn't give me the autofill feature, and this happens. Just quickly go back, hit these 3 little dots, and archive this. Archiving is pretty much deleting. We're gonna go add document. This is a good little replay. Show you how to do this again. See how fast you can do it, because it gets pretty easy after a while. Blank as is. Cool. On that. Autofill. Cool thing it does, still remembers everything we put on there. It has me as the buyer. Or this, I'm gonna put no one. I want to show you how to actually manually put these people in there. Cool. For some reason, did it again, but whatever. It's all good. So put the seller's name on there, whatever this guy's name was. We're just gonna go down and start filling these things out. The cool thing about Dotloop is it's all typed in there. It all looks neat. No dirty handwriting. If you read it, it looks professional. It's clean. Start filling this out. Put, you know what I mean? The cool thing with Dotloop, you put anything, ABC, title, or what we use is equitable title, so on and so forth. This isn't a class on how to fully fill out the contract. I just want to show you that everything is typable. Everything is fillable on here, which is great. All right, so you're going to scroll down, do all the things we need to do to make the contract right. It's a cash deal. And cool, you see, there's check boxes, there's fillable forms. Fill these things out. So on so forth. You guys get it. Okay, go through this whole thing, fill it out while it's written. Once you get all the way down to the bottom, everything's fully written out. It looks good. Make sure you put your name on there. I don't know why it doesn't. Put your broker name. Cool. Everything looks good. Everything's ready to go. So next step, once you actually have your contract fully written out, is to assign your client to there. And assigning a client is where you get them to put on the initials and put signatures on there. Okay. As you see, because I messed up, it's already assigned on there. Okay. To assign it, we're going to click on the initial. We're going to scroll up here. So you already said assign to Javier. But say it didn't automatically do that, you would just click add buyer. Put your client's name. Add person. There it is. It's telling me I'm already there, so it's not letting me do that. But that's how you would do it, okay? And the same token, you see how Javier Santana is there for these both of these slots. Make sure there's your client only needs to initial one time, okay? So if this situation happens to you, we're gonna click on this, go to the scroll down, and then assign it to nobody. So now Javier Santana is going to be signing this one, and no one's going to be signing this one. And we're going to do this for all of them, okay? Scroll down. Javier Santana is assigned, but this one, I don't want anybody signing it, so I'm going to do that. You start doing this pretty fast once you get familiar with it. Stuff's really easy after a while. It is pretty much the most time-consuming thing about putting in offers is messing with the initials and assigning them and not assigning them and dragging them around. Another cool thing about this is you get, any additional terms, you can just write it in here. Javier S. Wait. There are awesome. That's the additional terms. Remember, this is signatures, okay? This is where your client's actually going to be signing. Again, we don't need your client signing twice. So we're going to go to this one, the second one, and assign it to no one. Okay, so it's nice and clean. Remember, you want your dot loops looking clean. The cleaner it looks, the better you look. The better you look gives more confidence in the other realtor knowing you're not going to mess up and you're going to make this a smooth and easy transaction. A quick tip on how to make things look clean is always center out your fillables, okay? And don't leave anything blank if you don't have to, okay? So it says if left blank, then 30, okay? Instead of just leaving this blank, just always put in the middle, put 30, okay? Don't put 30 all over here. Put it right there, nice and clean, looks good. Make sure you put something in there. Once you have this all signed out, everything's looking good, we're gonna click save, okay? This save feature is super important because if you don't click save and you exit out or you back out or you lose connection, you're gonna do all this stuff all over again, okay? So very important, always click save. If you're in the country and you live somewhere, you have I don't know, HughesNet internet, click save like every 5 minutes. Click save, saving. Looks a little glitchy, but hey, I give faith that it's saved. At this point, we're going to back out. So it's asking us if we want to share our document. Hold on, my computer's about to die. Okay, we're back in the fight. All right, it's asking me if you want to share a document, okay? Sharing your document is where you actually send it out to your client so they can sign the document so it's a real offer, okay? But you're probably thinking like, why aren't we sending it now? Because we have a couple other things we need to do, okay? So remember, we're not just when we're putting in an offer, we're not just putting in one offer, okay? There's gonna be a couple other different paperwork involved when putting an offer, like the blank as is contract, like right here, a pre-approval, seller disclosures, any contingencies, appraisal contingencies, FHA riders, things like that, okay? And we're sending things out to our client. We want to make sure we're sending it all in one big package so we're not confusing them and we're not over inundating them with paperwork that's not concise and easy to get to. So share documents, no. We'll share it later when we're ready. Stop pressuring me, Dotloop. So you see here that your document is ready to go. Again, there's going to be other documents. So for instance, if we need a FHA writer, we're going to go to Add Document. We're going to go to Templates, Sales Packet, scroll down. FHA writer, if your client is a VA or FHA person. So here it is. Now it's on there too. Let's click into this. Again, autofill pops up, buyer, the address, or autofill that. And voila. Look, we didn't have to do all that stuff. We could also probably put the seller's name in there as well, so we don't have to keep putting the seller's name. But for simplicity purposes, and again, look, our buyer's name is initialed. Let's hover to this one, and we see nobody. We want to assign it to nobody. Buyer. Fill out whatever you need to put in. And I mean, this 300 number, you know what I mean? I'm just using it as an example. Don't always put that. It's variable. Okay, you see it, it's all there, blah, blah, blah. Buyer. I want to make sure nobody signed that one, but you've seen Javier signs this one. Cool. Looking good, looking good. Broker. I would just sign that one myself. Have your broker sign it, actually. Save it. Share, no. So you see how fast this gets a lot faster. Now we have two documents on here. This is a big key. You want to order these documents to most important to least important. Okay, so the offer is always going to be on top, the most important document. So when we send this, we want the most important document first thing to be signed, and the rest could be later. To move this up, we're going to simply hold this and drag it up. Okay. We're not ready to sign. We're not ready to send it out just yet. So remember, in real estate transactions, there are going to be situations where we need some documents signed or uploaded that we don't have access to. For instance, in this deal, we're going to go to the attachments. Seller's property disclosure. This listing agent probably wants us to sign this along with the condominium association disclosure. We need to sign that. Okay. So for instance, we're going to click on this, click on that. Whatever, not letting me do anything with it. So we're just gonna, for simplicity purposes, we're gonna skip that one. Also, when you ever have any questions about weird things like that, you know what I mean, instead of trying to figure it out, okay, I see what it was. So it was just a weird formation. Seller property disclosures, cool, all this good stuff. This is important information that we need, that our clients probably need as well. How do we get this form into our Dotloop? Okay, we're going to download this form into our computer. We're going to download this form into our computer. Once it's downloaded, again, we're going to add document. To pull documents that are not already pre-filled out templates, we go to browse, okay? So it's going to browse throughout your computer. Go to your downloads, find your document, upload it, and voila, there it is. Oh my God, magic. Cool. But as you see in this form, there's no autofill feature because there's nothing there. We haven't told Dotloop what to do yet. Okay, Dotloop needs pre-filled out instructions to do the autofill feature or things that are fillable. Okay, but the cool thing about Dotloop is we can make anything fillable. Okay, so for instance, there's this. I want my client to sign right here. There's nothing there. To get an initial mark right here, we're gonna go to add initials. Boom, and there it is. We go to assign it to your client. Now my client can sign here. Okay. Same thing. We'll go down again. It's not here again. Okay. Add, assign, boom. Now it's signable. Same thing with the signature. Add signature this time. Assign. Cool. Boom. Another cool thing with Dotloop is you can make any form writable, checkable, anything. Okay. So say for instance, which wouldn't really make sense on this document, but say we want to write something in there. Okay. We would go to add text. Expand that out. Put whatever you want in here, okay? Same thing, if we wanted to check off one of these boxes, and I'm clicking here, I can't check it off, it's not fillable yet. To make it fillable, we're gonna add a checkbox. And check off, boom. So you see anything can be written on, signed off on, initialed, checkboxed, put a date on there, put a name, put a strike through, okay? Again, we save it, and we go back. And again, remember, we want the most important document at the front. So we're going to put our offer in the front. And as you see, like, what the hell does get media or blank as is residential contract mean for you or the client? It's probably good practice to rename these documents to make it easier for your client signing this. So for this purchase agreement, or you put offer or whatever you know, something that's easy that you know what it is. Get media, like that doesn't tell us anything. So rename this property disclosures. Okay, you guys get it? So, and also remember, like there's other documents like a pre-approval. We'll do that same method. Okay, pre-approval is we're just going to go to add document, browse, find the pre-approval. For this example, again, we're going to skip out on that. But say we're ready to go. This is everything we need to send to our client to sign off on. We're going to, in order to get our client to sign it, we're going to click on all of these things. And now we're going to click share. And we're doing it, all of them at the exact same time. So when your client gets it, it's one big package. They don't have to come out of separate emails. It's all one big package. Just click, 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 and it's ready to go. So we're going to share, find your client, make sure it says can sign, leave them a little message. Please review and sign offer documents. Simple and straightforward, but text me if you have any questions. And then we share it. And then voila, look, you send off your first offer to your client. As you see, it says waiting on others. So what I'm gonna do now is log off this account and log into that email I sent you. You see it just came in to show you how it's gonna look like for your client. So I'm logged off. So your client's gonna be looking at it. He's gonna see this. This is how it's going to look like for your client. Javier shared 3 documents with you for Loop 105 Robinson Street. The note, please review and sign offer documents. Simple, straightforward, but forward. Typo. But text me if you have any questions. Jay, your client's going to click view documents. It's going to automatically throw them in there. He doesn't have to create an account. He doesn't do anything. It's just automatically going to throw them in there. And you see, here's our document, nice and clean. Look at that. Oh my God. And we're going to click start signing up here. And it's going to take us to our first initial box. Your client can scroll back up, go down, do whatever he wants. But when he's ready to sign, he's just going to click it. And click. You mean accept it. Your client can go back there and like change his name if he wants to. Adopt and sign. Goes and it's automatically take him down to the next spot, so he doesn't lose anything. He could still go up, go down, click it, goes all to the next one. And essentially, what your client could possibly do is just close his eyes and click. Anybody can do this. Even a caveman can do this. Click, 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 click. Signature. Boom. As you see, he just signed that whole offer. Okay, and that now it automatically takes us to the secondary form. Okay, so he doesn't have to jump out of the email and go into another email. It's all in one big package. It's super important to make it easier and more convenient for your client. So now he's automatically getting into the seller property disclosures. He's looking down. He's checking it all out. Looks good. Look, strike throughs he put, things we put in there. I mean, whatever. Click, clicking, and the same thing. Seamless, easy and seamless. And look, automatically takes us to the next document. Click, click, and then voila, he's done. Finish signing. Sometimes it glitches like it does right now. There's usually little pop opt-ins or try to get your client to sign in. He doesn't have to do that. A lot of times your client can just exit out of there. He's done. Okay. So now we're going to jump back into Dotloop again, back on the realtor side, and see how it looks now. You see, your client's going to automatically get a copy of the signed version. Go back to our loop. And you see now, it used to say waiting for others. Now it says signed, okay? If your job's not done yet, we still need to give it to the other realtor for them to see it. But just because our client signed it knows, we still need to send it off to the other person, okay? Remember, this is very important. Do not send it off to the real estate agent until your client signs it first. Do not send it at the exact same time. So don't share it out at the exact time. It's one step, get it back, and then send it again to the listing agent. Because if you send it straight to the list to both at the same time, the listing agent is going to get a document that's completely blank with no signatures. Okay. Also, big tip, I see a lot of you guys do it for some reason. We are only focusing on our customers. Okay, so we don't assign fields for the seller. We don't do anything for the seller. Let the other realtor do all that stuff. Our job is to assign and make sure our client signs their portion. We get it back, and then we send it off to the listing agent, and he takes care of that. And many times, not everybody uses Dotloop. Okay, so he might have it. He might use DocuSign. He might just use pen and paper. So to kind of put it into context, not everybody uses Dotloop, so we don't have to deal with the seller. Okay, we don't have to deal with the seller. We don't need their email address. We don't need to sign initial forms for them. Now you see everything's signed now. Everything's looking good. Let me click on this. Because I got to double check. I got to put eyes on this thing because I don't trust technology like that. So let me see. Oh look, it has the initials on there. It actually works. Cool. Good. So at this point, we need to send it off to the listing agent. So the same process again. Click on all the documents we want to send to the listing agent. We're going to click share. And you see the only person left is Patrick James, the listing agent. This is super important. Super, super, super important. It says can edit in private. We do not want that. Okay. We want view only. We don't want this guy editing our offer. Okay. View only. And also we want to assign it as a PDF. Okay. So that way, when they jump on here, they get a PDF down here instead of having to jump onto Dotloop. Remember, not everybody uses Dotloop. Okay, so send it as a PDF. So that way, it's easy way for them to read it. And we're gonna click share. I'm not gonna click share right now because you're gonna get a random document from a random dude with the offer that doesn't even make sense. Okay, but you click share to send it off to your client. And then voila, you've sent out your first official offer. You're on your way to the big leagues. You're sharking your way up. Okay, couple quick tips I'm gonna go over real quick. If you're ever wondering on if your client has seen the property, he's just ducking you, he's taking a sweet time, utilize this activity log. It's going to show you everything that's going on in your loop, okay? From whether your client signed it, has viewed it, whether you sent something, if you start getting busy, you'll be like, hey, did I send that? You can always go in the activity log and check it out. Also, if you ever send it to a listing agent and you're wondering if they actually got the offer or not, use the activity log. If they viewed it, they definitely seen it, they just haven't gotten back to you. When you are jumping in and say you make a mistake on your document, but you already have your client signing it, in order to correct that that typo, it's going to automatically remove your client's signature. Okay, so before you send anything out, make sure you double check, make sure there's no typos on there, and it will happen no matter how hard you try. You're gonna have mess ups. It's all good. But if you mess up in the same document 3-4 times, then your client's gonna start questioning your abilities. So for instance, hey, I messed up in this guy's name. There's no T back there. We'll go over backspace. Automatically says, are you sure you want to edit this form? Making changes to this form will clear all signatures. When you're done, you'll need to reshare the document to have it re-signed again. Okay? Yes, I'm sure. Fix the typo. And look, there's no more signatures on there, okay? But remember, there's the save changes. This is super important. It's not gonna automatically save for you. So say if you make a mistake, you actually do that, and you don't want to do that. Save changes? No, I don't want. I want to keep those signatures on there because I did not mess up. And it's automatically gonna pop back up. Cool. Let me log on to make sure I didn't forget anything. Oh yeah, this is super important too. Once you get a document under contract, in order for our offices to kind of figure out who's in charge of what, let's start renaming these addresses to their office code. So for instance, if you're in the Sand Lake office, put SL, you're downtown, DT, Dr. Phillips, DP, Windermere, WD, Celebration, CL, okay? Let me see, what else am I forgetting? Oh yeah, this is very important too. Dotloop works perfectly with the iPhone. Okay, I think it's not meant, but it's supposed to become completely compatible and workable on the iPhone, especially with the bigger phones. Okay, so all this stuff we can do on iPhone. I wouldn't recommend typing up a contract, but remember, like when you're out on the road, you're out showing property, you're out on listing appointments, you're out, you scout out an area, and you just need to know somebody signed their damn offer. Okay, utilize the app. So everybody come in there and download that app. So that way you can look at it. Oh, he signed it. Okay, let me quickly share this out to the listing agent. Okay, utilize the app. Very important. And some final things I want you guys to do. Okay, so obviously, like this, we went over some good information. Went over kind of a lot. What I want you guys to do is, one, make sure you have a Dotloop account that's up and running, that your office secretary set up. Okay, so for instance, to know if it's set up properly, you would go to Dotloop, and it should say Business Plus. Go to Templates, and you should have templates here. If you do not have templates, you're signed into the wrong account. 2, I want you guys to go in your Dotloop, go to these templates, and start making yourself familiar with these different forms and stuff like that. Okay, go in here and read it out. Read these things out. Okay, read the listing agreement. Read the buyer-seller disclosure. Read little things like lockbox authorization forms. Okay, make yourselves familiar with these forms, especially if we're going to send these out. Also, go to the sales packet. Make sure you definitely read the as-is sales contract. That's our bread and butter in this business. Okay, you're going to be coming across this thing every transaction. And then take your time and slowly go through all these. Next thing I want you guys to do is do the exact same thing we did today. Create a practice loop. Go get in the habit of, to do a test loop, add the loop, find a property on the MLS, and start inputting all that stuff. Input, the input, the forms, the as-is contract. Import the listing agreement. Type it in. Make sure you fill it out all the way. Type in the listing agreement and purchase agreement like you're actually like doing it for real. So it's not when you have put an offer the first time, it's not like you're seeing it for the first time. Practice as if, okay? Practice like as if you're writing for a real person, and then once you have everything written up, assign a client to not a real client, assign someone to the contract like we did here, whether it's yourself, whether it's a family member, whether it's your significant other, whether it's your date, I don't care. Assign somebody and actually practice sending it out, okay? And then ask them, hey, did you get it? How did it look? Or send it to yourself. See how it looks on your end. Make sure you get all these kinks out of there, okay? Because this business and this Dotloop forum writing thing, this type of stuff happens in the most inconvenient times possible. Hey, I want to put an offer on Sunday at 10 o'clock. You know what I mean? Oh, and now you're scrambling. Holy shit, what do I do? I haven't even done this before. I don't know how this whole thing works. Let's be prepared for when those situations happen. So I'm telling you, everyone's guaranteed. All your guys' offers are going to come in. They're going to want to write an offer at 9 o'clock at night, and you can't get a hold of anybody. So make sure you do a test run, okay? Do it a couple times. Make yourself familiar. This is if the MLS is our hammer, this is like our nails, okay? And that's pretty much it. That's pretty much it, guys. So I'm open up to some questions. If you guys have any questions on anything we went over, let me know. Come off mute, put it in chat. I don't care. All right, I'm gonna take that as a no. So, all right, guys, log in your Dotloop, start filling out, do your homework, create a loop, do all that good stuff. Text me if you guys need me. Have a good week. Don't do anything crazy.